Did you know that if you add this and this together, you get schooled?
This scene is one of the most important scenes in the whole book because it sets the storyline. Unfortunately, Rain breaks her hip and sends her to the hospital for a long time, which forces Cap to move to the city.
This part of the book is not as important as the others, except this one person in the book is very important because she takes a huge toll on the story. In this scene, Cap meets his temporary caregiver, Mrs. Donnelly, and she also meets Sophie. Sophie will become very, very important in the story later, so we'll explain that more later.
Cap goes to school for the first time and gets a taste of what school is like.
In this scene, it is very, very important. Cap signs up to be president, and in this school, president is basically like the jerk or the complete loser. But Cap does not know that because he does not understand really anything about school.
Cap wins president, and this is a very important scene because it sets the rest of the book.
In this scene, everybody is excited because they all want to set up the school dance. The school dance is like the best part of the whole school year for them, except Cap decides to hire everybody. So he goes around asking people, and everybody wants to help him. It's pretty amazing how many people want to help him. And this is where him and the relationship with this school start to grow.
For the first time in forever, Cap gets a check and doesn't know how to use it, so he spends it on charity.
No, but honestly, this is where Cap's addiction to giving his money away really grows and starts. He does not really understand what a check is. In this scene, it's one of the more funny and delightful scenes in the book. At least in my opinion, it was. It's funny because Cap and Sophie still are not legally allowed to drive, but Cap is still giving her lessons, which I find pretty funny. And this scene basically, it's not necessary to the book, but it basically lights up the whole story.
In this scene, Sophie gets her license and can do everything she ever dreamed to do.
In this scene in the book, it is when Hugh and Zach decide to make a horrible, disastrous prank on Cap. Unfortunately, Cap hurts himself terribly and ends up having to go to the hospital after all these events. Actually, what happens is this event right here ends up leading to something far worse.
The ambulance is rushed to save Cap, but what Cap doesn't know is that Rain is inside the ambulance waiting for him.
This scene in the book is one of those eye-watering scenes of the book. It's the one where you get really emotional and you can start really connecting to the story. Everybody thinks Cap has died because of his injury with that football prank, except what happens is Cap is actually not dead. He even says he's not dead, and it's actually surprising because everybody thought he was a ghost. It was actually really funny.
In this scene, Rain sells Garland for $17 million, but it's because of Cap. She does know that she's not going to be around forever, and Cap is not going to know much about the outside world.
There you have it. That was School. In my opinion, it was an amazing book. Except, one thing it never told us is what happens next. Well, to figure that out, you have to read our journals.